You know, I passed this along. A lot of people thought I was making this up yesterday. It is true. There's a survey out among millennials so seriously in debt they would seriously consider giving away an organ to pay off their student loans. They're that real stressed about it. So I wanted to bring in our boomers, bitter though they're not all the time. We got Stephen Leeb, we got Charlie Brady back. Great game last night. Oh, that was Tom Brady. Sorry. Lizzie MacDonald. And look what little wuss didn't show up today.
Yeah, it's like Elijah at a Passover. We set the table for Charlie Gasparino. He doesn't show up.
Yeah, even the chair doesn't shut up when he's here. Okay. All right, Lizzie, what do you think of this? You got really stressed out.
They can't wait and restructure their debt. And they, you know what I mean?
Restructure their kidneys.
I would restructure my internal organs and give one away. You know, I love this other stat. As many people would
and they're
sell
not
an
always
organ.
Internal, but
you know, they just as much as sell an organ as go on active duty. So that was their choice: sell an organ, go on active duty, get that forgiven. You know what I mean?
No, I mean
trade-off.
It sort of says that this is a generation that is totally focused on the present. They have no knowledge of or they don't care what's going to happen 20 years from now.
They're stressed out. They've got $100,000 in college loan debt.
They should figure out how to get out of it. Everybody's
they come up with a creative solution: sell a body organ.
Great idea. Great idea. And it's an idea that's born from people that don't give a darn about what's going to happen in the future. If you're going to sell a body organ or give a body organ, it's usually, in my view, to save a loved one, a wife, a child, a cousin, what have you. You just don't sell it.
But if you're that overwhelmed, and let's say you do have loved ones and you want to look after them or help them or get married or whatever, you figure, look, I can't afford any of this unless I sell a body organ. It could be a selfless thing.
I mean, whoever said college costs an arm and a leg wasn't that far off.
Touche.
I mean, I have a son who's in 11th grade just now, and, you know, after, you know, researching this topic and being in the segment, I'm thinking I look for sell a kidney of my own, perhaps, if there's a market for it, a slightly used kidney or a
But how is their
liver.
stress and wondering how to pay off debt different than when you and I were coming out of school and we had debt? In percentage terms, I know it's higher.
Yeah.
But what do you make of that?
Well, the big problem is the majors. A lot of these kids, I mean, some of the degrees are out there. You know, I mean, they sound like fun, but they're really not marketable. You know, medieval French poetry, cannabis
Don't knock
cultivation.
it till you try it. You know?
You know, I mean, what kind of
There was a soldier
skills?
from France who suddenly lost his. I digress.
I mean, they're just looking for an easy way out, and I mean,
Steve, I love you to death, but it is not an easy way out selling a body organ.
No, well, they don't conceive of it as that. They figure they'll be in the hospital for a week.
Though. They're that desperate. Have you ever been desperate for money?
Yes, I have. I have been desperate for money.
What did you do? And
I sold a body organ.
You just said
hello. It's just part of my liver.
Hello?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I worked it out.
You're sounding very elitist.
But, you know, your point is well taken. Listen, they have
out.
100,000 plus in college debt. That's a lot of money. So that is an indication.
So what I'm saying, unlike some of our colleagues,
I'm agreeing. If they feel so stressed out about it,
so what can we do for them to help them out?
Organ.
It sounds to me like Mr. Brady's going to be cheap with his 11th grade son, and so you're on your own. Maybe he's stressing out.
I try to talk him into going to one of the military academies.
Oh, I see. Well, look what the wind blew in, everybody. The meek and mild.
I just sold my spleen for $2,000.
Are you kidding? We would get rival bids on eBay for it.
You sold your liver for 100.
All right, what we're mentioning, Gaspo, is this study that was out of millennials that they would sell a body organ if they could to ease their debt.
Well, my millennial producer gave me the wrong time for this show, so
she would
someone
else.
Sell probably her liver.
Do you think that's a sign of desperation?
Maybe she should sell her brain.
I think it's a sign of desperation, yes, Neil. Who can argue with that? I mean, that's a good point. It is a sign of desperation. But
how about
getting
stupidity?
desperate over money.
How about stupidity?
Stupidity more. But yes, it is a sign of desperation.
Desperate stupidity?
But look, these millennials are in a way, they have more friends, like Lizzie and I were talking before. They have 1,000 friends on Facebook. Who cares? But they have no close friends. There's no bonding. There's
what does
no
that have to do with their angst? Charles, one of the things we're raising is that they're so angst-ridden with all this debt. And when you're talking about, hey, I'd entertain selling a body organ, you're crazy desperate.
Yeah, and, you know, but I think Mr. Leeb is hitting on something here because they don't look for...
Why do you call him Mr. Leeb and Donald Trump Donald?
Well, I'm being polite to him, you know. Listen, I've known Donald longer than Mr. Leeb. But anyway,
what were you going to say about?
No, I was going to say they live for the moment. You
That's exactly right.
I think he's got it right.
Exactly
Once again,
right.
he's got it right.
No, that is right. China is becoming a very serious problem,
China's behind
and we
you.
could
We're
get
talking about
carried
millennials.
away.
What?
If you want to talk about what's going on in
We're talking about
Iran.
millennials.
I didn't understand, Gaspo, your position on this. Sympathetic or not sympathetic?
No, because they live for the moment. They don't live for the
Have you
long
ever
term.
been so hard up for money you would have done something desperate?
No, well,
Go
no.
back to those
not
jiggle
like
days. All right, come
I'm
on.
Not like
sympathetic.
that.
By the way, I am
Neil, just
sympathetic.
one other point that just
You should have
Point of
seen
order.
me. You should have seen me in a members only jacket.
If they
I
were
understand.
willing, if they're
sympathetic
willing
to
to
that.
sell a body organ, they're probably willing to steal. Who knows what they're willing to do?
We
to
have
get out
no
of debt.
idea what it feels like to have the amount of debt these kids have.
thank you.
Six-figure debt is gigantic
Yeah.
for them to deal with.
But-
I am sympathetic to what they have to do.
I
You
sold
think
my-
he should
I
pay
sold
for
my
his kids'
spleen.
education?
You shouldn't pay for that kind of
Should or
debt
should not?
degree where they won't get a job. Is that what you
Right.
guys are talking about?
No, it should be a useful, marketable skill that you
Yeah,
can
but
take
don't
out
you
and get
like?
a job.
Don't you like? This is what I did when I went to journalism school.
here we
I
go.
went to a very good journalism school, but it was within the confines of what I can afford. I didn't go to Columbia. I went to
Right.
Missouri, University of Missouri.
That's
and
excellent.
it's a good school. But what I did was I looked at basically how much money I'm going to make when I get out of this, this school and this crummy profession of
You need to tell me
print
you get
journalism.
paid?
And yes, I do get paid by the word that comes out of my mouth. That's why I'm going to keep talking for a while. But in any event, but I looked at how much I'd probably make, and I looked at how much I'd owe, and I said I got to go to Mizzou where I think I can beg, borrow, and
I was
steal
mad
a little
from
bit
day
and
one
get
how
through.
much college costs, and this was decades ago.
But
But
why not
none
be
of you
really
ever
outrageous?
entertained selling a body organ. I'll tell you, there's something
No,
that's going on
no.
here where the desperation and the fear is such that we're not tapping into that rage because that's an anger.
No,
Is it
but
rage?
I should
agree.
say this sort of like
stupidity.
conflating money with love. I mean, if you're going to give up a body
And
organ,
by the
you
way,
do it to a loved
what
one.
body part are they giving up?
I don't know.
Here. I mean,
By the way,
literally.
Ralph
Some
has
of them
just
are taken.
relayed
You
to
should
me.
hear the discussions
Well,
that
Ralph
these
had just
people go
relayed to me.
through.
Here was our demo.
By the way-
right here, and then Charlie came in.
Neil, we should tell the millennials out there, if you give up your kidneys, you won't be able to take as many drugs at Burning Man. So just remember that.
Yes.
We'll have more after this.
And part of your liver, too.